Yes, Spencer.
Hello, mate.
How you doing? You good?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Just want to say before we start, what an honour it is to have you on our lives. We are in the presence of YouTube royalty, and we really appreciate it. Not only is that, but it's a bank holiday. You're a busy man, so we appreciate your time.
No, it's all good, mate. Pleasure to be here. Big fan of your work.
Thank you, thank you. You well though, yeah?
Yeah, mate. All good. Can't complain. Looking forward to when we can go back to normal, but obviously we've got to do what's right and stay safe and stay home for the time being.
That's exactly it. Just want to check you can hear me perfectly fine, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Right, let's start. We're just going to chat a little bit about lockdown. Let's not waste any time. I just want to get your lockdown guide. So starting with, what has been your go-to snack during lockdown?
Cool. Go-to snack. You know, I'll be honest. I've been snacking a lot more
Have you?
during lockdown than I usually do, because you spend so much time at home, right? And you know, you just
Yeah, yeah.
food's there, it's right next to you. But I eat a lot of nuts. I eat a lot of nuts like cashews.
Okay.
Really big fan of cashews. I went and did like a big shop like a few months before, and I got like lots of protein bars and things like that. So I
Okay.
ate quite a few of them. And I'd probably say, yeah, I'd probably say nuts the most. I have protein bar pretty much every day, but one thing I do have, I think I'm going to show you in the fridge later, and in there I always have a probiotic drink every day as well.
Oh,
Try and
nice.
keep, the health up.
All really healthy choices. I thought you were going to say something bad, but no, all healthy. Sounds good. What has been your most used app during this time? Is there a new app that you've got that you've been using a lot?
There's a couple apps. They're not necessarily new, but I've used a bit more during lockdown. And I think it's a really good time, if possible, for people to try and learn new skills.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, you know, if you've got a bit of spare time more than usual, you can try and. So there's a few things that I've been trying to do already before lockdown that I've tried to increase. One is I've been trying to learn guitar.
Nice.
So there's an app called Musician that I use, which is it's like basically people that follow me will know that like I a very competitive guy and I love computer games, right? So
Yeah,
these
yeah.
apps that sort of turn learning into computer games type mentality really appeals to my personality.
I
There's
see.
two,
Okay.
there's two that I do on that. There's Musician, which basically makes learning an instrument into a game, and you try and get
Nice,
points
nice.
and you can compete with your friends.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's also one called Duolingo, which is for learning another language. So I've been
Nice.
trying to improve my Spanish. And yeah, that's another one I recommend as well.
That's cool. So you're doing a bit of both there, new skill and a kind of gaming in a way. Bit of both.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Nice, nice, nice. And what about a new skill
Wait,
then? So
Akin Benoit's in the chat. He says I've got to talk about Beast Mode Run as well, which is his new app. Akin Benoit. Everyone go and check it out. The Beast's got an app.
there we go. He got his little segment. We were with him the other day, and we played a game of Beast Mode Run live. It was a lot of fun. Spencer, what about a new skill? Have you learnt anything new apart from those things you just said? Is there anything else you've been doing, new
You know
skill
what?
wise?
As long as you don't ask me for a demonstration, I think because as you can see right outside, right, I've got my garden just here.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously I spend a lot of time out there playing football with my dog. And I've been trying to finally perfect the flip flap, the elastico. And
Nice.
by perfect, I mean I'm nowhere near perfecting it. I'm not doing it on a human dummy. I'm doing it against a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually better than most humans. But yeah, I'm trying to learn that on both feet.
Are you at the point where you think you could execute that during a game?
Depends what I'm playing against. If
Yeah,
it's
okay.
a friendly kickabout, I'm definitely going to give it a go once we get back to football for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and what about your main meal of choice? Is there something you've been eating a lot of in the evenings, or?
To be honest, I'm quite lucky because I've got my fiance Alex, who basically does most of the cooking, and we haven't really got one specific meal. We should mix it up a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's anything we've had really regularly, but no, we try and keep it varied. You know, I think what my diet tends to be, because to be fair, I spend a lot of time at home normally anyway, so I always have a lot of food in the house, and I tend to be pretty consistent with my like first 2 meals in the day. I usually get up, and I'll usually have probably a bowl of cereal with some fruit. I just had a bowl of cereal with some banana in it, and then it depends how busy I am really. Sometimes I'll be honest, I don't really have much of a lunch, and I go and then have a massive dinner later on.
Yeah, okay.
But there's no real set meal. I guess it's kind of varied.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And what about TV? What have you been watching a lot of? Any new series?
Yeah, quite a few things. I think everyone's been watching a lot of binge viewing at the moment. We're really enjoying the Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix, which obviously is not all out yet. They're releasing new episodes every week, so we're up to date on that. I've just started, another series on Netflix. It's the third series of Ozark, which I quite enjoy.
Nice.
What else have I been watching? We've just finished, actually. We never watched it, with The American Office.
Oh, nice. I've not seen that either. No.
So I'm a big fan of the English Office, and I always thought like it was going to be, no, wouldn't compare to it, and it's different. In the first series, I wasn't a massive fan of, but then it's like 9 series of it, and it gets really good, and it's good in its own right. So I recommend it.
Nice. And give us a book recommendation, Spencer. Anything you've been reading?
Okay, the last book I read was Johan Cruyff autobiography.
Strong.
I don't have in it. You can see, like, I've got some of my books behind me here.
Yeah.
Little toys. There's the Cruyff book there.
Okay.
The
orange one.
Football book. Quite recommend that, particularly for youngsters watching, because Cruyff's not necessarily a figure they might, unless they've used him in FIFA as an icon, they might not be that familiar with him. Yeah. And obviously a legend, as you'll know, of football. He invented the Cruyff turn, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Everyone knows. So that was really good. What was the last non-football book I read? I've started to read a book called Don Quixote, which is a famous book, but I've literally just started that, so I can't recommend it yet, but it's supposed to be a classic. Nice,
and good recommendations there. Spencer, what is your ambition for the rest of lockdown? Is this something you want to achieve by the end of this time?
Well, first and foremost, stay safe and make sure everyone, close to me and my friends and family, and everyone, looks after themselves and abides by the rules.
Yeah.
In terms of myself personally, like stuff I've been talking about, really, I'd love to get a bit better at guitar. I'd love to get a little bit better at Spanish as well, which I've started to try. But I think I'm fairly lucky in that I can do a lot of my job from home as well. So I'm still making videos. I still stream on Twitch and stuff. So keep doing that. I'm really enjoying doing a Football Manager Road to Glory with actual Hashtag United in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
And trying to get them up to the Premier League one day. It's going to take me bloody ages, but we're getting there. But yeah, that's it really. It's just mainly just to stay safe and just get through this as soon as possible, really.
And nail the Elastico, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I won't know for sure if I've actually got it nailed until I pull it out in a game situation, but we're trying.
We'll see. Right, that's your lockdown guide. And now I want to move on to some reader questions. So a lot of our readers and viewers have been sending in questions for you. You've got around 10 that we've picked. So I'm just going to reel them off to you. So firstly, we've got Kent. He's 17 years old, and he's asked, will you ever make a youth side or an academy side that will join the non-league system? Now, that's a good question, especially with the timing of an announcement you recently made. Do you just want to answer that for Kent and tell us a little bit about your announcement?
Yeah, great question. So this week, we actually just announced the brand new youth setup at Hashtag. So a few weeks ago, we launched our women's team.
Yeah.
I say launched, we merged with an existing women's team who are really high up. They're actually higher up than the men's. They're in the fourth level of women's football. It's the National League South.
Okay,
with the youth system, we've also done a merger with a team local to us. So we're all based in Essex, and there's a team called Forest Glade, who are a really good group of guys. They've been around for 20 or so years. They've got 400 plus players across multiple teams, all the way from like under 5s to adult football, boys and girls. So they're going to be part of Hashtag United moving forward, which is great.
Yeah.
And what that allows us to do is it means we've now got a kind of route to first team football from the very first time you kick a ball. Theoretically, someone could stay with Hashtag all the way to then, if they make it, playing for the first team, women's or men's.
And by that time, you'll be in the Prem, so they can become a club legend, right?
Who knows? I mean, they have to be really. If we're in the Prem, they'd have to be really good to play their way through. But that's the idea, right? It's about producing your own talent in house and giving people the opportunity to stay at the club, no matter what their level is. We're all about inclusivity at Hashtag, so we also want to have teams that anyone can play in, at younger age groups and be part of what we're doing, which is really important because, quite frankly, that's what I always was as a youngster. I was never in the highest team. The highest level I played at was like third team at uni. I was always just doing it for the fun of it. So that's really important that we keep doing that, but also give the better players a chance to also stay at the club and achieve their dreams. As we've seen people like Scott Pollock do from Hashtag Go.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe we can have some more Scott Pollocks in the future.
And how exactly can people get involved in that? What's the first route in?
Yeah, so obviously they need to be what's weird about Hashtag is we've got this global audience, but obviously for actually playing for us, you need to kind of be based near to where we are. So if they're based in like the Essex area and they want to get involved, then the best thing to do is if you go over to our Twitter and you'll see, find the Forest Glade website, which we've been promoting recently, which is still part of Hashtag, but it's still called Forest Glade at the minute. They can reach out to the individual managers of their age group. We're not doing open trials or anything because we've already got like 400 plus players, but we will be looking to improve and increase the teams we offer in the future. So obviously we've inherited loads of players who are already buzzing to represent Hashtag. But yeah, if their team needs some new players, then get in touch and get involved.
That's really exciting. Young players can play for Hashtag. That's really exciting. Our second question is from Harry. He's 11. He said, who is your favourite women's player for Hashtag? Now, obviously, you probably haven't seen them play loads yet because of the situation we're in, but maybe you can just tell us a little bit about, and tell Harry a little bit about the women's team, how that came about and what's happening there.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to pick a favourite yet. I need to see them
No,
play
exactly.
before, but I've seen some of them online and I've done a bit of research into them. Yeah, they're great. So they're the best team in our county, in Essex, best women's team. They're actually in the County Cup final, which obviously got paused at the moment, but hopefully still going to get played at the start of next season. So they're in a league with teams like AFC Wimbledon,
Nice.
Norwich, Ipswich. These are like teams that proper high-ranking teams. And they were formerly called AFC Basildon, and they're now going to be Hashtag United Women. And yeah, they've got some great players, really, really good players, all different kinds of backgrounds. But it's a fourth tier of women's football. So I guess if you were to make an equivalent, it would be like League Two of men's football, in that they're 3 promotions away from the top division, which is the Women's Super League. Yeah. And I mean, they're a really, really good bunch. They've got some great experience, and I can't wait to see them play. Obviously, they'll be called Hashtag. They'll wear the Hashtag kits, and to be honest, it's a bit of a challenge to the men's team because they're 5 tiers higher than the men.
Yeah. So, do you know, I didn't realise they were so high. That's a really nice place to start, isn't it?
It's great. It's really good. It also means that, we can do, maybe when we get back, some challenges between the men and women. We can do like a penalty shootout between the men and women's team and a few different things to see, who's better, because that's the age-old debate, isn't it? In football, which, of course, it's a very different type of game with the way the women and men play. But I've got a lot of respect for women footballers. I loved the World Cup last year. I thought England did fantastic, and I think it really gave a lot of people a bit more room in their heads to allow women's football to be part of the overall package.
Of course,
and, all we're trying to do at Hashtag is encourage inclusivity of football's everyone's game, not just men's. And, as a football fan myself, I don't ever really think, oh, am I watching a men's game? Am I watching a kids' game? Am I watching a women's game? It's all football.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really positive thing. You're building that club massively. Youth football now women's football, that's quality. Third question is from Ryan, 13. He said, where do you see Hashtag in 50 years? 50.
Wow. 50 years, wow. Hopefully I'm still alive.
What's the long vision?
Yeah, I get asked this question a lot, and I say the long vision above all else is sustainability, right? We see particularly now, right? It's very, very topical with what's happening in the pandemic right now. Is that there's a lot of teams that are probably going to go out of business, and that's not even their fault. Some of the best run teams who kind of, not to get into too much detail, but kind of operate financially very cleverly in the way they use their money, they are going to struggle purely because they haven't got people coming through the doors right now and watching games. And of course, that's something you can't really plan for a pandemic. But what we need to do is make sure that we're continuing to do what we do for as long as possible. We don't want to come on and get loads of views on YouTube and then not exist in a year. It's much more important to me that we are around to continue to give people these great opportunities and represent the people that watch us online who have given us this opportunity in the first place. So that's one of the reasons why, obviously, we're going to continue to do everything we do online and give anyone a chance to watch us and be a fan of us across the world. But we're also simultaneously putting down roots in a real life place, which is where I've always been born and raised and played football in this area of Essex, and giving people a chance to be part of it, because I think that's a really important part of us keeping ourselves around for the next 50 years, like you say. In terms of league, who knows, man? Because if we're being honest, it takes a lot of money to get to the sort of levels that if you look at someone like Salford City and the Gary Neville class of '92, they started off the same level as us. We're on a similar trajectory to them so far, but then at a certain point you need to put tens, if not hundreds of millions of pounds into a club. We don't have that.
No.
Right now, it's all about being sustainable, getting to a level where we think we can kind of compete, which I still think is quite a few levels higher than what we are in as the men's team right now. And I think the women's team could probably go up a level too. And then we don't know. It might be something that maybe we could get some investment down the line and improve that. But if we don't, that's not necessarily a problem. We're not aiming to get to a certain league to make it all worthwhile. It's actually about representing a new way of running a football club. And being on the right side of history in terms of trying to change the game for the better as well.
That's a great answer, strong answer. It's not like you don't want to aim too high. It's really good as it is, and you're building, and hopefully that'll continue. Our next question is from Seb. Who in the current squad has the most potential to go far in football, would you say?
Great question. Well, everyone's obviously a matter of opinion, right? It's very subjective. But if you're going to look at trajectory, the potential, you've probably got to look at their age, first of all, like who's the youngest and one of the younger players that's got the time to grow. And mature. We've got a fairly young squad. We've made it younger this year for sure. I'd probably be looking at people like Jack Martin, who's a young left back, who we got for our academy series we did in the summer.
Yeah.
And very good player. Came on leaps and bounds the season we've just had as well. Played a lot of football. Probably played more football than he thought he was going to play, because our other left back, who's an ex-professional, Tom Williams, had a significant injury. So Jack got kind of thrown in the deep end, and he did really, really well. So we've got our awards coming up. We're still doing our awards, even though the season didn't officially finish. And he's a front runner for Young Player of the Year, I think. So I think he's got potential. George Smith, our striker, is still, I think, he just turned 21, and he scored loads of goals. He's played quite a few levels. He's played with some really good players growing up. That he's got potential. He's been trained well. So again, as a striker, it's all about goals, right? If he continues to score goals, whatever level he's at, then I think he could go on as well. But there's loads of players. I don't really want to single anyone out. There could be more players that we bring in the future. We're definitely about bringing young players through now, particularly with our youth set up. And whilst we try and climb up the leagues, we might not necessarily be the team that people end their development with, but we can help give them a massive boost, like we did with Scott Pollock, and send them on their way. And if they don't quite hit that level, then they can keep playing for us. It's a win-win.
Perfect. And Scott Pollock's a great example of how far you can go coming through Hashtag. Our next question is from Jack. He's 12. He said, who works the hardest on and off the field at Hashtag?
Cool. Okay.
Who are you going to big up?
On the pitch, I'm going to say Hashtag OG, Ryan Adams. He's been there since the beginning. He's a good friend of mine. His work ethic's a joke. He did never stop running for you. We've actually got a new player who came in about 6 weeks before the season ended, a guy called Chris Newby. And his work rate is really good as well. And he was actually crucial in helping us get to position of basically position we were in. Off the pitch, we're really lucky at Hashtag. We've got a lot of people who aren't footballers that are crucial to what we do. And there's loads of people like that. I could name 10 of my dad and my mum are both really involved in it. Obviously, Alex and Seb, my family as well. But I'm going to say a guy called Neil Smythe, who is kind of the brains behind a lot of the content we make. And he does a lot of the hard work. I get a lot of the credit for it, but a lot of it's actually Neil. So I'm going to say Neil was the hardest working off the pitch for sure.
Nice, unsung hero. Next question from Sam, 15. This is a big one. He said, who was a better midfielder, Gerrard, Lampard, or Scholes?
Oh, classic question.
So we've been playing a game actually called Start, Sub, or Snub. So do you want to pick one that you would start, leave on the bench, and snub completely? I think that'd be a good way to get between them. Yeah,
I think it's subjective again, isn't it? I don't support any of the three teams involved, of course, which makes me a bit more neutral. Although Frank Lampard was at West Ham, and he actually went to the same school as me, Frank Lampard.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Not at the same time. I'm a few years younger, but personally, I think people overlook Frank Lampard's goal-scoring record. The man's a joke. One of the high-scoring players in Premier League history. I've been lucky enough to meet all three, and I've made content with them all, and they've all been very nice. I think it's going to annoy some fans here, but I'm going to say Frank Lampard's the starter for me, which I think is surprising to some people. Steven Gerrard, I love Steven Gerrard, and I got lucky enough to play against him at the Wembley Cup, right? But if we're being really, really, really ruthless, he didn't win a Premier League, and Scholes' I don't know. The other thing about Gerrard is he also scored the goal that killed West Ham.
Oh, okay, I see.
Never forgiven him for it. So I'm going to snub Gerrard for that reason, not for his ability. And I've Scholes on the bench. Scholes probably was the least. If you're looking for highlights and goals and stuff, he probably didn't stand out as much, but he had the best passing range ability of all three.
Yeah.
And obviously what he won with the treble with United and stuff, I don't think you can ignore that. So, we'll go with that three. But you could do any flip with those three and I'll be fine.
Exactly. They're all amazing players, aren't they? Right, next question is from Oliver, 14. He said, if you could sign one player for Hashtag United, who would it be and why? So I'm guessing he means, any sort of pro player, any player. Who are you signing?
I mean, obviously there's the big ones, right? There's the Messi and the Ronaldo's. But if we're being logical, right, we're talking about the fact that Hashtag's all about sustainability and been around a long time. You should probably get a young player.
Strong.
For 10 years. If I could lock them down to some kind of contract, maybe pay him in FIFA points, I would probably, if you're looking at young players right now, I guess go Mbappe, I reckon.
Yeah.
Get Mbappe in, he could lead the line for 10 years, right?
Give him the 10-year contract.
Yeah.
Okay, next question from Toby, 13. How does it feel to see the football club you started transforming to something wonderful? What an amazingly worded question, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah. No, it feels amazing. It's it's not something that we could have foreseen. It's not like there wasn't some master plan when we started it to go from here to here. But we just iterated as we went along. We saw gradual improvements we could make and looked for opportunities where we could. But ultimately, everything we've done and been able to do is all down to the many people that watch us online and support us. So
yeah.
And as a result, they've helped us get really good partners that have been able to sponsor us and help us do what we do. So yeah, I mean, it feels great. It's a challenge. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and I think even just in the work to get the women's teams and the youth teams involved, like there's so much there's so much communication you have to have, and so many like organizational things you have to go through to get them to work and everyone to be happy.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but it's also like something that I have to balance with many other jobs that I do, and also the other people at the club. So yeah, it's a challenge. It's definitely not as easy as some people might think it is, but I wouldn't change it for the world, and I love it.
strong. Okay, right. Next section is the vlogger starter pack. So you run accounts. Your account has got 2 million subs. You're a pro at what you're doing. And there's be a lot of viewers here that want to become just like you, become a vlogger, and just want a quick fire guide of how they can get even close to you or just make a start. Okay, so first and foremost, is the camera quality important, do you think?
Not really. Not at first. I mean, so I'll show you what I'm looking at right now, right?
Yeah.
I've got all these cameras here, yeah?
Yeah.
But these aren't, and I'm a sucker for this stuff. I've got a background in production and stuff. I used to work for a production company, but you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that at first. You just need a phone nowadays. Even when I started, you couldn't do what you can do now on phones.
Yeah.
Phones are so good. It depends what sort of content you're making, but I wouldn't go out there and splash loads of cash on gear until you get to a point where you've got a following and they're complaining about it, or you feel like you're being limited by what you can do, because the camera, the equipment's stopping you doing something you think it would be better if you could. Like there's technical things, without going too technical. For example, I've got a camera here, right? So this is one of my first cameras. It's called a DSLR. It hasn't got a lens on right now, but it's a 70D. Now I used to use that. That's still more advanced than anyone needs to start off with. But one of the challenges of that is it only films for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
You film for like 10 minutes and then it'll stop and you'd have to restart it. So when I wanted to start making longer videos, I needed to upgrade to a new camera. That's a reason to upgrade. But again, that's way ahead. If you're just starting,
just use your phone.
Yeah, don't just get a phone. It's fine. Webcam, even, whatever.
Cool. Right. How key is it to getting the name and the visual of what your brand is? Like, how key is that?
I think it's important when you get to a certain point. But again, I'm someone that probably gets too preoccupied with that sort of thing as well. Like, you don't really need to. You can change that stuff. Half my YouTube channel was something else before.
Yeah.
Like the Hashtag United channel has been 2 other channels before. Like people don't know that. It got reinvented. So yeah, it's important to have a name or a image, I would say, that you want to be represented by. Mine's Spencer FC. Like I get introduced all the time, but people think my surname is FC.
Football club. Yeah.
The reason I went with FC is because it was multifaceted, right? So the FC stood for football club, football channel, and FIFA channel.
Nice.
Which is all 3 things I was doing at the time. So I thought it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I might. Who knows? That might not be a thing one day, Spencer FC. I might change it. It wouldn't change what I do, but you need something that I guess people can link to and makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd. Like for example, if someone was trying to do similar stuff to what I do now, I'd say don't call yourself, John FC, because you think of something different because you're something that's already out there. I don't think there was another channel. It's such a simple name, right? But there wasn't another channel called something FC. I don't think. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
So just be unique, basically.
Well, that's the key thing. I think a lot of people think, oh, this worked for someone else, so why don't I do that? And maybe it can work, but they'll always just be chasing other people's trends. Try and set your own trends. Try and not give the audience what they're already watching. But think what they don't know they want to see yet, and think a step ahead.
I hear you. Good advice. Would you say that you need to think of a plan for your channel, a long-term plan, or would you just roll with it? Sort of make content, see what you can do, see if people enjoy it, and just kind of go with it to start with. Obviously, we're talking about a starting point here. Should you not look too far ahead, do you think?
I think there's some starting points, right? Again, everyone changes. So I started making videos genuinely 13 years ago, right? That's online videos. And this is before YouTube existed, before half the equipment existed and stuff like that. And they weren't football videos. They were nothing to do with what we do now. I was trying to get into like radio and stand-up comedy and stuff back then, believe it or not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I used to make crazy little videos, none of which would be allowed to be public right now. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I was secretly, without even knowing, I was learning all the time. I was learning what videos worked, what didn't work. I was learning about how the kind of platform of YouTube or the internet worked, and all these things. Like years and years later, when I started to focus on football content and started to have some success with it, you know, I knew a lot of lessons. I knew a lot of lessons already without even meaning to. And it's I think the famous Messi quote, and they say something like, "It took him 10 years to become an overnight success," or whatever. So people only think about the thing you're doing from when it started. So, like, Spencer FC's been a YouTube channel since 2014 is when I started that channel, but I've been doing YouTube since 2007.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you can get the start. It's about the finish, not the start. So I just say get out there and do what you do. But it's a question I get asked a lot by parents as well is, oh, you know, should I get my YouTube channel? Should I do these things? I say, you know what, depending on how old you are and that, you don't need to be on YouTube. You don't even need to be online. Depending on what you want to do, you should perfect the art first. You know, you should make your own videos. So I used to have a karaoke machine. And I used to record myself hosting my own radio show on a cassette. This is how old I am.
Yeah.
But no one heard it. It was just for me. And it was just my thing, and maybe I played it to my parents or whatever, but I was learning to use a microphone. I was learning doing little characters and playing music on the show and things like this. So that probably 10 years later, when I had a student radio show, I knew how that stuff worked.
Yeah.
I did hospital radio before that. I knew how the gear worked at like 16 because I'd been playing with it in my room for years. So it's the same thing. Even if you want to be a vlogger, like, and you just want to vlog your life, but vlog your life for yourself and edit the videos and learn to edit and fix it all and make it all work. And then maybe when you're a bit older, because I think it's important I don't think people should be going on YouTube too young unless they're working with their parents in some way and it's properly done, because there's a lot of horrible people out there. There's a lot of people that you could just be a good guy making good things and they'll still criticize you. And it takes a long time to build up that thick skin. So I don't think you should rush to be getting on where you want to finish. You don't have to go and start there day one. You can grow into it.
I think that's really sound advice. How important are collaborations, would you say? Should you work with other people to help build a channel?
Well, there's no doubt that collaborations are really, really useful. You know, I don't have as much time to do them as much as I'd like to nowadays. But the original growth of my channel, in a lot of ways, was down to collaborating with other YouTubers. You know, I mean, the Wembley Cup series in general was built on collaborating, and with people like the Sidemen and KSI and these guys. Obviously, we all know how big these guys are. So, it's really important. And I was lucky that I got an opportunity in one of my old jobs when I worked for a production company in a channel called Copper 90. I got the opportunity to work and meet a lot of these YouTubers. And then when I was sort of out on my own, doing my channel myself, I had those relationships there, which is useful. And it's a hard one because people ask me that question. I'm like, yeah, no, it definitely helps. But it's not something you can kind of create. You can't just create a friendship with a YouTuber. Or you can't just, if you can get yourself in those circles, and I know people go to these meetups and they meet other YouTubers of similar sizes to them, and they can grow together. And I'm sure that could be really useful as well. But it's a weird one because there was this bubble of YouTube around sort of 2010 onwards, where everyone was still very approachable, but everyone was growing at a rapid rate. And those people became like a friendship group. And I was kind of part of it to a little extent, but I'm a little bit older than a lot of the guys, like the big, you know, the guys that everyone knows in the football and like FIFA scene, the Road to Shores and the KSIs and the Sidemen and the Alfredis. I know all these guys, they're all great guys, but I'm a few years older than them, so I never really had that friendship with them necessarily. But we did a lot of stuff together, and like I say, we've got good relationships. But those guys all being actually tight-knit mates was huge for all of them, and they lived together. So it's hard to replicate that. But you see people pop up all the time. You see guys like the Beta Squad guys. They're a really good bunch of Chunks and all those guys. I like them, and they've kind of done their own thing and their own take on the Sidemen. So yeah, that's all about collaborating, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Some amazing advice there for viewers that are starting out in a video making game. Spencer, we want to move on now to your hashtag Hall of Fame. So what I want you to do is, if you prepared this, I want you to show us your 5 prized possessions that you've got since starting your journey at hashtag. So obviously you get to do lots of amazing things. What are your 5 prized possessions? Starting at number 5. Have you got number 5 for us?
Yeah, we've got, a lot of them behind me, to be honest, so I'm going to turn the camera around. So it's quite hard to boil it down to 5. And they're not necessarily hashtag related, but some of them are like Spencer FC related, but this has got to be one, right? So this is my England cap. Wow. Technically, it's not a real England cap, but I played in a game called The Legends, England versus Germany, and the game was actually at Upton Park. It was one of the last games as a West Ham fan. There's 25,000 people there. I
Wow.
played with, Rio Ferdinand,
Yeah.
legends of the game, but also celebrities as well. I did a nice sliding tackle and goal line clearance against Oliver Neuville. So that's a big thing for me.
Okay, and number 4. What about 4?
Okay, yeah, I haven't really ordered these, to be fair.
Oh,
So
okay. Let's just do 5 then.
Yeah, that would probably be higher than 5. This is a very sentimental thing, right? It's a mug, but I got it in the World Cup. So I went to Russia last year, and I went to every single England game. So this is from I can't remember which game. Here you go. This is the semi-final.
Oh, wow.
This must have been England versus
Croatia.
I can't remember who lost it. I deleted it from my memory. That's me. I was there with my dad and my mate Mike, who actually was in the chat a minute ago. And obviously, I'm hashtagging it. And
of course,
so that's from Russia World Cup. So that was pretty epic. And I've been to a few World Cups now, and it's just the best thing ever. So I can't wait to go to another one.
Nice. What else have you got?
Okay, what else have I got? So Cesar Azpilicueta is a big friend of Hashtag, and he's on the board of directors. And these actually his boots from the Europa League final.
Right.
I've actually got a few. I think the Europa League final ones are in there somewhere. These are the names of his kids on these boots here.
Have you cleaned them as well?
No, I think these are his spare ones. To be fair,
okay.
They have a lot of boots. These guys.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, that's not necessarily those boots as much as I love them, but they're also just an example of the people I've been able to meet and people that have been able to support what we do. And he's a huge part of Hashtag, and has been just a legend. So, I mean, that's just a great memory, right? I've got some great boots over the years, but they're right up there.
Are we going to talk about that picture of you and Obama there? Is that you with Obama?
That's the guy called FIFA Player. I don't know who that is. The identity is still secret. I just keep that there because I'm a big Obama fan.
Okay. Right. Is there anything else you want to show us? Anything else that you love that you've got hold of since your journey started?
I mean, these are some 100k plaques I've got.
Wow, they're not bad, are they?
That's the Spencer and Alex channel. My fiance's channel, and that's what's actually the Spencer FC channel, but it was weirdly called Official FIFA Player. I don't know why it was called that. But over here, we actually have, it's in its box right now, but this is the million plaque.
Oh, wow.
Let's see if we can get it out for you. I keep this protected for obvious reasons.
That's great that they send them out.
There you go, look at that.
Wow. That is what people are working towards.
Yeah, it's mega, isn't it? It's massive. I mean, let's put it to scale. There's my foot.
Where's that going? You putting it on the wall somewhere? Where's it going to live?
It's so heavy.
Yeah, I thought that.
It's so heavy, mate. So I might try and put it on the wall. And that brings me on to my next point. Bang.
Wow.
This is my Wembley Cup shirt.
Yeah, I thought that might be in there.
So you can see the scoreline here. FC United 5-2. But we obviously played in multiple Wembley Cups. The next one after that was more memorable for me. Because it was the one we got my brother to play in, and we had a crowd. We had 20,000 people. And the next one after that was the one we got Hashtag to play in. And we had people like, some unbelievable legends playing. My brother playing again as well. And that was 34,000 people at Wembley. So, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Of course not. But, I mean, as a first memory, that's not bad, is it?
No, I mean, that was the one I had to get, put into a frame and looked after. But I have got all my shirts. I've got a whole cupboard upstairs of shirts. I've got some on the wall here. I've got some Hashtag shirts over there. I've got one on now. But, the Wembley Cup. The first one was the one that kind of set it all up. It's one that's got 20 million views on YouTube. It's outrageous.
Okay, amazing. So that's your Hall of Fame. Spencer, do you want to show us in your fridge, crib style? Everyone's been showing us their fridge. We want to see what you've got in there. We don't know why, but it seems to be really interesting and people seem to be liking it. What have you got in there?
Let's have a look. I don't know how interesting it will be, but let's have a look. Right.
Have you been shopping?
We've got some food in here.
Okay, so, nice. Some Actimels.
Got these earlier. Probiotics. These are some I like these sort of protein yogurt things.
Yeah.
They're quite good. I recommend them. Dog food for Joey. I don't eat dog food myself.
I was going to say.
Alex loves a Dairy Lee Dunker. I don't mind them either. Quite nice.
Classic.
Got some pasta, got some jelly, got some cream cheese.
What's in the boxes at the back? Pasta.
I don't have dairy milk. So this is oat milk. Box at the back. This is pasta. This is some pasta stuff that Alex has been getting delivered.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. It's very tasty, but it's very it's very filling.
Your fridge is very healthy, and the things that you've been saying are very healthy. Where's all your treats at? That's what I want to know.
Well, we don't really eat that many. Let me have a look. The closest thing I've got to treats is probably up here.
I don't know if you saw Akin Fenwa had a barrel of.
Yeah, Akin Fenwa, he's about 4 times the size of me. We don't actually have that many. It's all quite healthy. I'm not going to lie.
Very healthy. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. What it is because I spend a lot of time at home. In general, we try to keep the cupboards here stocked very healthy. So then when you go out, if you go out for a meal or something, you can kind of eat wherever you want because you've been 80% of your meals are good ones. So that's the idea.
That's a good way to look at it. Right,
Yeah.
Spencer, I want to move on to your ultimate Hashtag United dream team. Okay, so you've got to build your ultimate hashtag dream team, and I want you to pick 6 hashtag players, past or present, and 5 pro players, past or present. Just the ultimate hashtag team that you can build. Who are you going to pick? So first of all, in goal, I want you to pick a hashtag player. So who are you going to go in goal?
Okay, right, fine. I was actually just working on this on a piece of paper, and it's good. I'll start it again. I'll write it out as we go. So look, first player, we're going in goal. We're going to go Jacko. Now, we've had some great keepers, and we've had Andy as well recently, still our goalkeeping coach as well. But Jacko played a lot of games in our league winning season last year, and he's a good lad. But it could have been Andy, but I'm going to go with Jacko.
Nice. Okay, right. And right back, I want a pro player. Who are you going at right back?
Okay, right back, we're going to go. I've mentioned him already. Oh, I've spelled his name wrong. He won't like that. Azpilicueta, right back.
Cool.
Obviously, he can play anywhere across the back 4, but friend of the club and lovely man.
Do you think you'll be able to sign him one day, maybe at the end of his career, potentially?
Hope so, but it's very, this guy's playing at a very, very high level, so we'd have to catch him up a little bit first, LP, by the way, from Hashtags in the chat, he says, right back is me, I'm fuming. He said a pro, LP. He said a pro.
I admire that he wants to be in there instead of Azpilicueta, though. Right, centre-back, I need a pro and a hashtag player. Who are you going?
All right, we're going to go pro. We're going to go this man because I used to work for him. A lot of people don't know this. One of my first jobs was working with Vincent Company on a social media job. And again, lovely man, very, very well-educated footballer, and obviously great career. So we're going to have Vincent Company.
Nice. And who's going next to him from Hashtag?
Okay, if I need a centre-back, I'm going to go this man. Jack Harrison is our captain at Hashtag. He's been there since the start. There's a lot of centre-backs I could have thrown in there, but he's still going strong. He had a really bad knee injury, done his ACL last season, so he missed the year, but hopefully he's going to come back next season. Okay,
strong partnership. And what about left-back? We need another Hashtag player for left-back, so we've got...
There's only one. There's only one. Can I put myself in there?
Of course you can. Get in the team. Get the armband on.
What a back 4 that is.
That's clean sheets.
We need to hope that their good players are left wingers and not right wingers, because else we're going to have a problem.
No, I like that you're throwing yourself in there then. Right, so we need 3 midfielders. I want 2 centre midfielders and I want 1 attacking midfielder. So I need 2 centre mids, a pro and a hashtag player.
Okay, let's go with. I'm a big fan of this man. That's my pro. And then next to him, we will go with. Because I don't know where else you're going to ask for the position, so I've got to make sure I've got the key ones.
Well, I can let you know. So we're going to go 2 centre mids. We're going to go an attacking mid in front, and then we're going to go 3 up top. So a right winger, a left winger, and a striker. That's how it's going to work.
Fine. Okay. So we're going to. You need a hashtag player in here, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I always try and choose ex-hashtag players where possible because it means I can't annoy the current ones.
Good strategy.
Let's go with. I'm going to go with this man. Wes Tanser. He's been around since the very beginning. So hashtag, a lot of people don't know, started off as a 7-a-side team in London back in 2012. We didn't even film it. And there's only a few of us that have been around and still involved in the club since the beginning. And Wes is one of them with me, so he's got to go in there.
So Wes and Pirlo in the middle. I like that. And who's going in front? Who's going in the 10 dog?
Do we want a pro or a...
we want a pro in the 10, actually.
All right. I know it's not his normal position necessarily, but because I need to have him involved, I'm going to put Messi in the hole.
Nice. Okay. Strong. I mean, you don't need to even explain why you've gone for Messi. I think we all know. On the left-hand side, I need a hashtag player.
Easy. My brother, Seb, keep the left-hand side connection going. It's a great understanding. It's great chemistry.
Yeah.
He can help me out and basically play as a wing-back when I'm getting done. And, he's a great player, a great friend of mine and brother. So he goes in there.
Brilliant. Okay. On the right side, we need a pro.
Yeah, so this one's going to be... Oh, this is hard, because...
You got a few in mind?
Well, it's not about the pros. There's 2 hashtag players I need to get left in, really. So
well, we've only got a pro and a hashtag player left, so one of the hashtag players can get left out.
I know, it's horrible, isn't it? Okay, fine. Well, I said I prefer old players, so I'm going to go... On the right, I'm going to go Cristiano Ronaldo. I probably could have swapped those 2, but we'll go with that. That's Cristiano.
Yeah, and who's getting the nod in the number 9, a hashtag player? Who's getting that shirt?
It has to be Dan Brown. Ryan Adams misses out, but that's because he's still an active player. whereas
Yeah,
Dan
okay.
Brown is retired. So Ryan Adams will be in there one day for sure.
Yeah, he could be a super sub. So that is your ultimate hashtag team. So we've got Jacko, Azpilicueta, Company, Jack Harrison, Spencer, Pirlo, Wes, Messi, Seb, Dan Brown, and Ronaldo. That is a strong team. I want to see that team in action.
It's a ridiculous team. It's a ridiculous team.
I really like
Yeah,
it.
stronger in some places than others. But I think I actually got to play with Pirlo in the summer. I played in this game after the Champions League final at the same stadium. And obviously, you know, he's an absolute class act, Pirlo, right? He was just like, it was a friendly game, you know, he's played in bigger games, but he would drift in and out of it, and then he'd just get the ball and play a pass that he just would defy mechanics. What a player.
He's that sort of player that can play in slippers, right? I love that left-hand side of that team. That's my favourite part of that team. That is your dream team then. The last thing we need you to do, Spencer, is pick another player, actually. This is maybe where you pick Ryan Adams, but it's up to you. Actually, no, we need a pro, actually. Yeah, basically, our live guests all week are picking one player to join the MOTD Mag live guests 7-a-side team. Okay, we've got a few positions left. So we've got Garincha on the right so far.
Oh,
we've got Lucy Bronze and I think it was John Terry at the back. And we got Lee Trundle up front. So that leaves one midfielder, one striker, and a keeper. Who are you picking? So you can either pick the goalkeeper, the midfielder, or another striker. Who are you going to pick?
Easy, very easy. There's a lot of names I've just given shout outs to that I could have thrown in there, like Company, Azpilicueta and whatnot. But it's got to be Scotty P. Scott Pollard.
Nice.
You know,
yeah.
Hashtag legend, and obviously playing professionally now with Northampton.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'd come on one of these with you as well if you wanted to get him on. He loves his Instagram. So yeah, legend Scotty P is going in for me.
That'd be great. Repping hashtag. Amazing. Spencer, thank you so much for spending time with us. We really appreciate you coming on, mate, and we hope you stay safe.
No worries, mate. Keep up the good work. Stay safe yourself, and hello to everyone who's been watching. Thank you very much, and see you soon.
See you soon, mate. Thank you very much. See you, mate.